Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So yesterday it was International Detransition Awareness Day, I believe it is known as. And I think it's a very, very important day. So many young people, I think there's more people today that are choosing to detransition and get away from the lies and the madness. And they're starting to wake up and realize that this whole notion that you can be something that you actually can't be, they're waking up and thinking to themselves, well, this is not fulfilling. This is not helping me at all. I thought that it would help me, but now it's really destroying my life. It's eating me apart inside. And that is exactly what a lie does. It will, if you're living outside of the truth and you're constantly lying to yourself, it is eating away at you. And the more and more it eats away at you, the more and more that you deny the truth from entering into your life, the more miserable you'll become, and the more that you'll destroy your actual life. We're seeing countless examples of this, of what's actually happened when someone has been living in the truth only to be deceived by a lie, which comes from the devil, I believe. I think transgenderism is so evil. It's barbaric in nature. To say that you can be something you're actually not, and then go as far as changing your body, your hormones, everything to try and suit that of the opposite gender or sex, that is insane. And only someone as evil as the devil would conceive of something so truly barbaric and horrendous, right? I don't think humans could really come up with this themselves. I think someone had to help them out, don't you? Now, there's been many stories of young people that detransition, Chloe Cole being one of the more famous ones, I guess you could say. She's very much in the public eye and has been fighting for young people that have been lied to for quite some time. She has been fighting and she's been at the forefront, and same with Riley Gaines and many other women that they just want to help. They want to help bring the truth, bring freedom to a lot of these young girls. And the statistics at the moment that I've been seeing that are coming out, it seems like young people are waking up and realizing that they cannot live their life like something like the opposite gender or the opposite sex. It just doesn't work. They end up being miserable, and a lot of them end up tragically losing their own lives. Now, I want to share with you this detransitioner story named Forrest, a young man that was lied to, a young man that thought for quite some time that he was a girl. And so he transitioned to being a girl, got the breast enhancement. He changed his body. It's quite a tragic story, but then also how he saved himself from that is also something else entirely. So have a watch.
Times when I remember staring at myself in the mirror, crying tears of rage, like pure hatred, and just looking at my contorted face and trying to find a girl in my face and trying to see if I could ever pass as a woman. My name is Forrest, and I'm 29 years old. I grew up with an older sister, and I have no other siblings. It was a bit lonely, and there weren't a lot of boys around, so I did play dress up a lot. I wore dresses and skirts. I wore tutu. I did a lot of girl things, and I did a lot of boy things. There were other things going on, like pornography, and there was also issues in my family and between my parents. So it became an escape for me that I started cross-dressing. At 12 or 13, it was something that nobody knew about. People thought that I was happy, that I was popular. I had a lot of girls that were interested in me. I seemed to be doing really well in academics, but secretly I was just in despair about my sexuality. And I was carrying trauma from childhood that was manifesting itself in pornography. And it was something I couldn't escape, and something I was afraid was going to define my whole life. Transition felt like a liberation. It was like a shortcut out of all that. I began researching gender reassignment surgeries and gender affirming surgeries in high school. At the age of 20 years old, I went out with this older transvestite on Craigslist. And what I found was this whole separate apartment he'd been keeping secret from his ex-wife. And it was filled with wigs and breast forms and costumes. I wanted that at my disposal. I wanted to be able to cross-dress, put on a breast form. I wanted to pass as a woman for the first time. He was a really big guy. He had really big features. He was like, I could never pass. And he couldn't. He was not a man that was ever going to pass as a woman, but he told me, you can pass. And he told me, do it while you're young because it never goes away. And I was looking for justification to transition. And when he told me it never goes away, that is exactly the kind of thing that I was so afraid of. After living as a trans woman for so many years, I began to consider sex reassignment surgery so I could fully pass. I had the top surgery, the breast implants, in September of 2019, and the orchiectomy, which is when they only remove the testicles, in June of 2020. There was an immediate feeling of emptiness, but I didn't want to feel the emptiness. So I started getting drunk and doing drugs, and then a month afterwards, it just all catches up to me. I had this weird feeling that the little boy who I used to be was trapped inside me and was screaming. And I looked back on moments in the beginning of my transition and I was like, I took the wrong path. That was the first moment of regret. At the same time as I realized that I can't have kids and that's what I wanted most out of life. It wasn't until after the surgery that I learned what being suicidal really means. And I became scared that I had no reason to live. A month after the surgery, I totally regretted it. And when the regret finally came out, I wailed every day. It was like a kind of grieving where I was tearing my clothes and my hair out. I had PTSD specifically about the moment that I went under. I would wake up and scream no. And my mom was at her wit's end. She didn't know if she should hospitalize me and have me sedated because it was so intense that I could be heard down the street. After that, I detransitioned pretty quickly. I started testosterone replacement therapy. Therapy was also a big part of the healing with the new transition. I worked through a series of different genderqueer identities. And then I left it all behind and I thought, I'm not questioning my own identity anymore. I went through the process of detransitioning, but I didn't come out unscathed. When you're physically damaged, when you're an amputee, you always live with that. My facial hair is damaged, my genitals are damaged, my chest is damaged. Even at the best of times when I'm happy, I'm still living with a physical disability. And that makes it harder for me to live confidently as a man. It makes it harder for me to have relationships, to build a family, to do all these things as a man. But I don't want to take an easy way out because then I would be taken away out of exactly what's going to give me meaning in the world.
There was this feeling of emptiness inside. So even after Forrest had gotten the top surgery, started living life as a woman, Forrest turned to drinking and drugs because there was still this feeling inside of just being completely empty and broken. And the only thing that can really lift that and fulfill that is something greater than human. It's only Jesus that can fulfill that emptiness inside of us. True purpose and true fulfillment. But a lot of young people, they don't know that. A lot of young people seem to think that transitioning is going to be that release for them. Anything that can sort of fix the anxiety or the emotional angst that is going on in their heart and in their mind. But then when they do end up transitioning, when they do end up messing up their bodies, Forrest cut off at his testicles removed, meaning that Forrest is now no longer able to have kids. When you do these sorts of things, there are going to be consequences, and the regret and the shame and the guilt that is coming and stemming from all these young people is just tremendous. Lots of these young people are regretting their decision to transition because it's destroyed them. And society is egging this on. Society is allowing this to happen. They're glorifying the butchery and the madness. Forrest also mentioned the addiction to pornography, and that is another area as well. Then also the trauma from family. And so cross-dressing for Forrest felt like a way out, felt like an escape. And then he met this transvestite that had a whole separate life. And the transvestite said, do it while you're young. Do it while you're young and you're able to do it. Another lie. You should not be trying to convince a young person of something that is going to utterly destroy their life. So on this day, or supposedly yesterday, but I think every day should be an awareness day of detransitioners, because more and more of them are coming to the forefront. And I'm hearing more and more of stories like Forrest's, countless more. And I want to do my duty, because it is a good thing whenever you see a young person that decides to detransition. That is a positive thing. And I want to highlight that. More and more young people will continue the detransition. They will continue to regret their decision to transition in the first place. If we stop trying to help these young people, then they're going to be ruined forever. That's why we need to keep speaking up, and we need to keep highlighting these sorts of stories. And well done to Forrest. I know it's not an easy thing to do, to even share this kind of story, but well done, Forrest. Well done, mate. And well done to every other young person that has had the courage and the bravery to actually detransition and realize that true freedom and true fulfillment doesn't come from transitioning. It comes from being who God made you to be. He didn't make any mistakes. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.